Our scripture reading this morning comes from text that we're studying in class this morning. 1 Samuel 15, verse 22. But Samuel replied, "Does the Lord delight in burnt offerings and sacrifices as much as in obeying the Lord? To obey is better than sacrifice, and to heed is better than the fat of rams." I was thinking last night about the Lord's Supper. I was reading a book and it was talking about the Lord's Supper as a symbol. And it is a symbol of the Lord's sacrifice. But which is more important? Sacrifice or obedience? Well, Jesus going to the cross was both obedience and sacrifice. But first and foremost was obedience. Remember when he was at the garden and he was praying and he was struggling to the point of tears of blood. Lord, let this pass. If there's any other way, let this pass. Lord, if there's any other way. But if not, I will do your will. And so Jesus is our ultimate example of faith, obedience, and sacrifice. And he tells us to partake of the Lord's table so that we will remember his example of faith, obedience, and sacrifice. He gave the ultimate sacrifice, a sacrifice that was more difficult than any other sacrifice. Because in the Old Testament times, sacrifice was sacrificing something you owned, an animal. He is the sacrifice. He sacrificed himself. And in Hebrews it tells us that he despised the pain and the shame of the cross, and he looked forward to the joy before him. And the joy before him was seeing us in the grace, in his grace, with the hope of heaven. Because we couldn't do it on our own. He did it for us. Let's go to our Father in prayer.